What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Now, today, I want to ask you guys, what do you, in its simplest terms, how do you define democracy? For you, how do you define democracy? For me, and for others, it should be, but we're not on the same plane with a lot of people. So, in its simplest terms, a democracy is basically ruling by the people. We get to vote, we get to say so, we get to elect people who represent us. But all in all, the people have a voice. And we have a group of people that are willing to give their voice away to elected officials whom the president wants to be loyal to him, not to us. So in all honesty, what's happening is we have a president that's stealing our voice. We elect somebody to represent us in our best interest, and the president is stealing that democracy where it's ruled by the people making decisions. And he's asking these people that we have given our vote for to represent us to be loyal to him and not to the people. So what he's doing, he's robbing you and me of what we think this country is. All in all, a democracy. Whether you're a Republican, independent, MAGA, Democrat, don't vote at all, I want you to understand the simplicities of this. A democracy is when we make decisions as a people. You get out and vote, and you elect somebody that represents you. They go out and preach to you. They want health care. They want to lower costs. They want to do whatever they say they're going to try and do. And we hope they're going to go and do exactly what they said they're going to do. But we're not naive. We know we're asking for 10 things and we'd be lucky to get 2. That's why we look for more than just one issue, so we can say, okay, if they get 1 out of the 5, it's better than 0. But what's happening is that we're electing officials, and especially in the MAGA area, they're electing officials that are saying F you to the constituents and being loyal to one man. That's not a democracy. You MAGA people don't all agree with Donald Trump or your representative. You have things that you want, lower costs of things. Donald Trump's not trying to lower jack. You want to know about Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump don't want to know about that. He called you stupid even. But this man is robbing you of your democracy. It's so crazy how MAGA went to the Capitol to possibly hang Mike Pence for democracy, stealing their vote, to possibly, to beat up on officers, some of which had PTSD, some of which unalived themselves after this happened. Some of them lost fingers, cut up. A lot of them have mental issues to this day because of what happened to them through no fault of their own. On top of that, the people who harmed them while they were trying to protect these bastards behind this door was okay with letting them go and acting like they were freedom fighters, fighting for their freedoms, while harming police officers who were fighting for their lives. Not their lives, the officers. They were fighting for these pricks who are representatives in MAGA, their lives. Instead of being loyal to the people who protected them so they can go home and hug their child that night, they chose to give Donald Trump and these MAGA nuts their vote. And American citizens are okay, not us, but Republicans, of voting Republicans back in. It boggles the mind that you say that you're patriots. Patriots for whom? For Donald Trump? Donald Trump is not America. America is America. We are America. The people are America. And for some reason, this small minority, 30% at most of American citizens, are allowing this to happen, while the 65 to 70% are sitting on their asses complaining and doing absolutely nothing to get rid of these 30%. We have given them power when they are the minority. What are we doing to stop it? What are the representatives doing to stop it? They out here going on their speeches and their preaches and shit like that, but what are they doing to stop it? Are they organizing to stop it? You know what's going on right now and why the Democrats aren't really being effective right now? Do you know? While we keep saying stuff like one person, AOC is standing out, Jasmine Crockett's standing out, a few others are standing out, Bernie Sanders is standing out. Do you understand the problem is that these people are standing out? Do you understand that? The problem with us protecting democracy lies in the fact that our bodies are divided, not united. They have no strategy. They have no plan. All of them are looking for power and how they can get it back instead of fighting for democracy and how they can fight together. Fuck who rises to the top in the Democratic Party. As long as you guys work together, the one that rises will be the one that fights the hardest. And the party that wins will be the party that stands with each other as opposed to being divided on everything. I understand in the Democratic Party, you guys are fighting. But the problem is you're fighting in 15 different directions. While Donald Trump and his minions are fighting in the same direction. The massive amount of energy they have to fuck up our democracy. And this lockstep nut job MAGAs who literally ride and roll with Donald Trump like they belong in a gang. Ride or die. They jump in and ride till the wheels fall off. And see, we're intellectuals. So we're looking at person and saying, maybe that won't work. I'll do that. And maybe we should do this. And while we're doing all that shit, they 40 miles ahead of us in the dipshit truck, driving far away from us while we're still here trying to figure out if the fucking engine works. We're trying to figure out, should we roll in the truck? Should we roll in the car? Should we take the bus? They're already 40 fucking miles ahead of us because we sitting here trying to figure out what the fuck we're going to do. Not one Democrat has come out with a plan that unifies the party because they're too busy trying to be the next fucking president or the next fucking senator. Fuck all that. Be the person who saves fucking democracy. I'm getting tired of people tiptoeing around what Donald Trump is doing. They're trying not to look conspiratorial or way off base instead of telling it like it is. I got a question for those learned people and for us in this room about the learned people. We all kind of agree there's nothing new under the sun. We don't probably seen it all, especially those people who are seasoned like myself and maybe a little bit more seasoned than me. We done seen this shit before. In history, if you learned it. In recent history, if you lived it. We don't seen it before. We don't necessarily know the strategy, but these learned people, these people that we elected that love politics, that have learned politics, have eat, breathe, shit politics their entire fucking life, they understand the strategies in which Donald Trump is pulling. Economic professors, anybody who's in the economy industry, politicians, lawyers, you all know what the fuck Donald Trump is doing. There's nothing new under the sun. Just add 1 + 1 and come up with 2 already. But you don't get any of them leading and saying, this is exactly what Donald Trump is doing. I know it's scary as fuck, but it's true. But instead, they want to go through the courts and all this shit and not tell you that Donald Trump is destroying democracy. Not no game, not no playing around, not no possibilities. He is destroying democracy and chipping away at it. And all we keep doing is pussyfooting around and acting like, oh, well, you know, maybe we can wait this shit out. Oh, well, maybe we'll send a strong letter. There are other ways to destroy what Donald Trump is doing, and none of them are even trying it. If you know what Donald Trump is trying to do, leaders, then head him off at the pass. And what I mean by that is, you understand his strategy. Russ Vought ain't that fucking intelligent that you can't understand what the fuck he's doing. Economists know. Business people know. They just don't have the balls to mention it in public because they're scared they're going to get sued or thrown in jail. If you don't fight for democracy, you going to jail is going to be a more than just a possibility. It's going to be a reality. Because once the brakes are broken off, we're full on in autocracy. And they see it coming. You'll see some of them throw out little hints, but you'll never see them commit to it. You know, so Trip, Donald Trump and his minions will commit to bullshit. I mean, commit to it fully. They're going out here talking about Donald Trump, President Obama should be in treason, should be committed treason. You got these leaders out here lying their asses off. There ain't nothing that he did that's fucking close to treason. But they are leaders on television, on camera, lying their ass off, lockstep. While Democrats, you got to have all your ducks in a row and don't lie and keep it truthful, but you don't want to overtell the truth. You want to be just like kind of calm, sit in the pocket and don't scare people. While these people over here scaring the fuck out of people. The opposite direction of truth. You need to scare the fuck out of people with the truth. The truth is on your side. Stop trying to be calm and collected. Scare the fuck out of people because the truth is scary. What this man is doing is scary. You don't see this man breaking out. They're having people breaking out people's windows and snatching them out their cars with their babies in the back seat. And these people ain't never fucking broke a law in their life. It is time to ring the fucking bell. If we were in a village, they'd be ringing that bitch. Ding, 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 ding. Get the fuck out of town. And instead, these motherfuckers are sitting here acting like it's an average fucking Thursday. It is not. It's not an average fucking Thursday. You got these young kids going out talking to N.O.M.A.D in public, being able to say, I'm a fascist, I'm a racist, get out of my country. And we walk around like that was another fucking day. It wasn't like something crazy. He ain't the only one who thought like that. Hell, the room was filled with like 20 people. More than half of them was down with it. You have people of color on the team that wants to get rid of people of color. The fuck is up with these people? The grown-ups in the room have got to ring the alarm. Fuck what people think. And they say, oh, the reason why I say this is because if I could predict the future, if I told you, and this is just an example, if I told you, any one of you, tomorrow, let's say DJ, tomorrow you're going to win the lottery for $2.5 million. It's an example, DJ. Don't be trying to hold me to it. I'm just saying the example. Tomorrow, DJ, 2.5 million, you're going to hit that lottery. And tomorrow came and you won it. Are you going to start trusting what the fuck I say? Because I'm a seem prophetic to you, right? I gave you the answer. I told you it was going to happen before it happened. See, here's the problem with Democrats. You guys don't fucking tell us shit till after it's done and you try to explain it the fuck away. You know everything about economics. You guys are on these teams and these groups that you talk to each other. You know about our intelligence and everything else. You know shit. You can't tell us secret shit. But if you Democrats went around telling people, yo, in February of next year, I'm going to tell you right now, or whatever it may be, the end of this year, if it's going to be even close, you can figure out the timeline and say in 6 months, gas prices are going to shoot up. If these tariffs go into place, all this shit's going to happen. And it's going to be due to Donald Trump. When it happens, like the Democrats or independents or whoever got the balls to say it, when you said it happened due to what Donald Trump did, people can't help but believe the fact that you were prophetic. How did you know that? Because what Donald Trump is telling them is a fucking lie, and what you're telling them is the fucking truth. Why don't you do something like that? Why don't you tell them that what Donald Trump keeps on trying to put onto people, why is he doing it? Why is Donald Trump always putting up tariffs and shit like that, or threatening tariffs? If you know anything about economics, you can easily say, Democrats, Joe Biden's economy was booming. Prices were coming down, maybe not as fast as you wanted. But the reality is, what Donald Trump came in and did wasn't for you, America. You see, America's in debt. Trillions of dollars. And Donald Trump put us in more debt than any other president in American fucking history. He's on the same level of fucking up the economy twice as hard as he did last time. You guys have a memory of shit booming, but no. You think it was just the pandemic that he mismanaged, but no. He don't know what the fuck he's doing. Tell them why he's raising these tariffs and keeps on saying that China and all these other countries are going to pay for it. And then says, look how much money we have in a pot. Why don't you tell them that the money that's in that pot is your money? Donald Trump is taxing you and getting money and claiming, look what I got. I just stole money out of your pocket. And guess what's going to happen? I'm going to try and force Jerome Powell and the Fed to lower the interest rate. So what? So the economy starts to boom. Looks great. People are going to start borrowing money at these low rates. And then what's going to happen? 2026, 2027, right on time, shit's going to crash. And they're going to blame it on who? Everybody that's before them. Because the strategy in which they're trying to pull is not new. Why don't you tell them at 2026 we're going to have a crash and it's going to be due to what Donald Trump is doing right now? If he don't stop this shit, you're going to be broke. Give them examples of what the fuck is going to happen and why they're doing it. Because they want to get a win. We were already winning. But the strategies that they're putting into place is so that we can look like we have a boom. But that ain't nothing but just taking the pressure off of what the fuck he's doing. He keeps raising taxes. Eventually, when these taxes finally kick in, you're going to go broke. He's going to have to lower the interest rate, so therefore it gives a little bit of pressure off of you and you feel like the economy's booming. But right now, it appears the economy's doing okay because these tariffs haven't went into place. And that's why Jerome Powell won't lower these interest rates, because they haven't went into place. The threat is there, but the reality isn't. That's why they call them taco. That's why our people aren't even investing in the stocks. That's why that stuff continues to rise, but they don't trust Donald Trump. They don't believe he's going to do what he's going to do. He got that name Taco from Wall Street because they were scared at first and shit started like falling like a fucking rocket. Like a rock, rather, not a rocket. Rocket goes up. Falling like a rock. But then they start realizing, wait a minute, this fool keeps threatening it, but never do it. All right, whatever. We're not even listening. La, 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 la. He goes ahead and does everything. Nah, anybody listen to that shit. And that's what Donald Trump wants. Russ vote, they're not doing anything but playing with the stocks to make themselves wealthy. Threatening shit, but never doing it. Because they know if they follow through with it, you're going to lose your shirt. Companies are going to lose their shirt. And once these people get their tax cuts back, they're going to raise the prices and gouge the fuck out of everybody. It is a billionaire game. The strategy ain't hard to understand. It's just that most people don't think about their well-being. You just think about waking up, eating, sleeping, shitting, and going back to sleep. And they wake up thinking about eating, sleeping, shitting, and fucking you over, then going back to sleep. And making money while you're asleep, while you lose money. It's quite simple. It's not hard at all. The hard part is hard-headed people that don't pay attention to shit and then get pissed when shit starts falling apart and don't know why it is, but you listen to your favorite person. Remember back in the day, if people who are seasoned like me, you turn on and watch your Walter Cronkite and all that, you believe them because you trusted them because they were like the only 2 or 3 people on fucking TV. When you got a political team of only 2 sides, maybe 3 when you get to independence, you're going to try your best to believe one of them. What happens if all of them are fucking you over? You're waking up and getting nowhere. Except for a political argument that they want to keep you in so that you don't see them robbing you blind. They don't want you to be woke. Woke ain't nothing but realizing how they're fucking you over and you ain't doing shit about it, but sitting there just trying to get on one team that you believe is fucking you the less or the least. Wake up. Understand this game. It is simple. Very simple. You either have a democracy or you don't. You vote for your leader to represent you. And when your leader is saying, fuck you, I'm going to do whatever Donald Trump tells me to do, that ain't democracy. And for Democrats, when we wake up and vote somebody in, and while this country's democracy is falling apart, they're over here bitching and moaning about how they can get back into leadership. How about you just fight for democracy and you'll rise to the top? The cream will rise to the top. But other than that, we don't want to hear your empty fucking stories, Democrats. We don't want to hear you just being upset with them. We want to see your fucking strategies. We want to see you do something that makes them jump and be like, what the fuck? We want to see that. We want you to promise us some stuff. Maybe if you win, you will impeach this bastard. Maybe something like that. Maybe you'll start arresting some of these people who have been breaking the law as far as senators. Here's the crazy part. You may not even be able to do that legally. But most of these people don't know that. So promise them some shit you're going to fuck with them. So therefore you can get elected and fuck with them. Stop being the punk, the pussy. And start being strong on this shit. You're going to have to fight, claw, shank, do whatever you got to do. Quit sitting here being wimpy about it. These people will take a lie and run with it 100%. Every last one of them. Not one of them has a fucking moral to their fucking name. And you can't beat immoral people with morals. You have to fight dirty like them. But for the people. Don't lie to us. Lie to them. Don't fuck with us. Fuck with them. Stop trying to be their friends. That's one thing I'm getting tired of hearing. Democrats talking about my friend on the other aisle. He ain't your fucking friend. He's your enemy, bro. Nobody who's trying to destroy democracy is a friend. Do you consider Putin a friend? He doesn't want democracy either. Is he your fucking friend? Fuck no. These people are not your friends. They're not trying to roll with democracy. If they did, they would be taking stuff through the House, through the Senate, then have Donald Trump sign it. Instead, they're allowing Donald Trump to do what the House and the Senate is supposed to be doing, what you guys have been elected to do, what the Constitution tells you you're supposed to do, and Republicans are allowing these people, Donald Trump and his minions, to abort all laws. And you still want to call these bastards your friends. That's your fucking problem. They're not your friends. They're enemies at this point. They're enemies of the state. And if you haven't noticed by now, we're at fucking war with them. Democracy is on the line. We're at fucking war with them. And you guys act like they're your friends. That's the disconnect for you guys. Nobody's talking about throwing bombs and grenades and shit. No. Democracy. Fight like hell. Like the world deserves it or you deserve it. Because we do. This my friend on the other side of the aisle. Shut the fuck up. That ain't your friend. If that's your friend, who's your fucking enemy? Where's the enemy on the other side? The ones that are sitting there destroying democracy, that is considered a friend to you. That's your problem. You can't recognize, or you do recognize, and you rolling with the billionaires and got the rest of us sitting here like, what the hell is going on? This is democracy. We fight. We go to war and help other countries. We've taken out leaders so that we can implement democracy. And in this country, as it's starting to die, you guys are sitting around all whimsical like, it's another Thursday. It's not. And Americans need to know that. You need to be scared that this shit's going to happen. Why? Because sitting on your ass ain't going to make it happen. Ain't going to fix it. This is not the normal shit going on. Ain't no other president in our lifetime ever aborted what the fuck the Constitution says and did not listen to the courts when they told them to do what they were supposed to do. They followed the rules. We are a nation of rules, of laws, and they're saying, fuck that. That's against the Constitution. That's not American, and that is not a patriot. That is someone who's committing treason. That is somebody who is an enemy of the state. And you Democrats need to say this shit. The reason why it's not serious, the reason why it's just like an average fucking Thursday, because you guys aren't ringing that fucking bell. You're just acting like it's another Thursday. It is not. They have a rapist as our president, a grifter, a 34-time felon, and you guys acting like it's just a regular fucking day. The criminals, the grifters, the deep state is running our country, and y'all just sitting here chilling. Too scared to say it's like Hitler. Everybody's talking about, oh, well, shut the fuck up. It's exactly as Hitler. If you don't know your history, then go learn it. Don't tell people to stop saying what actually is fucking happening. Oh, well, Hitler's so strong. No. This is what pisses me off when I hear this shit on CNN or MSNBC or whatever the fucking station. You guys want to jump off of the Hitler train. And I'm like, no, understand. This is the exact same shit Hitler did. Don't go to the end or even the middle when he started cooking people. Leave that part out. That ain't here yet. That's later if we do not do or fix or stop the first part of what Hitler did. This is exactly bit for bit what fucking Hitler did at the very fucking beginning. So I'm getting sick and tired of y'all dancing around that shit, trying to back off because you don't want to offend a certain culture. I don't give a flying fuck about your culture when it comes to destroying America right now. That shit happened in the 30s and the 40s, ended in 1945, and we witness it happening again. We need to ring that alarm bell. Fuck your feelings about, oh, I don't want to hear that. Fuck you. Then don't learn about history then. But we know what history is, and it's happening again. And if you ain't ringing the alarm bell when it happens, you can't stop it once it's already implemented. The only way we can stop it is a world war. Just like with Hitler. Talking about we don't want a World War III. We're about to have one. If you don't stop what the fuck is happening in America with Donald Trump and his minions. They're so lost in the sauce, they have no fucking clue that they're Hitler-esque. They're a bunch of fucking Nazis. It's not MAGA anymore. They're Nazis. Pre-cooking Jewish people. I don't see why people can't wrap their head around the reality. Cooking people later down the road. Putting them in cages happening right the fuck now. It's just fucking baffling. You can't see it. And that the media is too scared to say it. It's driving me up a wall, y'all. We have got to do something. There are many different things, like I said, with the Democrat leadership. They need to be ringing the alarm bell. Quit pussyfooting around it. Tell it like it is. You know exactly what's going on. If you have to say, Hitler did all that in 4 to 5 years. Right now is Hitler in the first 2 years of being Hitler. We don't want to get to 1944, 1945. 45 is when it ended. But when the main shit was going on, 43, 44, somewhere around there, we don't want to get there. But we damn sure are at the very beginning of what Hitler did. Everything down to the media being called fake news, Hitler did that at the very beginning. Gathering up Jewish people, we're gathering up Latin people. Throwing them in concentration camps, we're throwing them in concentration camps. He went further to try and unalive them. Donald Trump took them to another country that they haven't been to before and easily could have been unalived, and we would have never seen them ever again because they're in a place where that shit goes on and can't speak the language. So, and you guys can't see 1 + 1 equaling 2, these people? What are you waiting for? Him to cook up an oven and then you say, oh, wait a minute, it's Hitler. Why you got to wait to that point? You get to having to like scream it at the top of your lungs so that somebody can hear you, because right now it doesn't seem like nobody's paying attention. None of these leaders are paying attention. None of these Democrats are paying attention. They're too busy trying to figure out who's going to be next. How about you defeat the people who are trying to destroy democracy? How about you call a spade a spade? How about you start calling these Republicans enemies of the state? Traitors. Because I don't understand how you can call them patriots or even Americans if they're going against everything that the Constitution validates us as an American and as a patriot. They are doing the complete opposite. They are dismantling what the forefathers created, and somehow that's still an American. No, if Hitler came over here and tried to dismantle the way they're dismantling it, you wouldn't think of them as a fucking American citizen and that they're just not an enemy. They are an enemy of our state. But just because that person was born here, you're just allowing it to happen? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Please make it make sense, Democrats. Jasmine Crockett, make it make sense. Everybody gonna say, well, why you pull her out? Because I need to pull all of them out. AOC, make it make sense. Mamdani, make it make sense. Chuck Schumer, make it make sense. Nancy Pelosi, make it make sense. Obama, make it make sense. Hillary, make it make sense. Clinton, make it make sense. Tell us how this shit makes sense to you. That they're not enemies of the state. Are you telling me they're following the rules of this country's Constitution, or are they enemies of the Constitution? They swore to uphold it and they're not doing it. So what would that make them? An enemy of the state, I would think, right? Why aren't you saying that? Why are you allowing them to stretch our laws to the point of them being able to be exploding into another thing, which is not a democracy? You're hoping or praying that democracy will hold. How's it going to hold when you're not defending it and you're acting like it's another day, but complaining here and there, going to court here and there, To do what? To overturn the shit he's doing. How about figuring out how to stop what he's fucking doing? How about being somebody who sees what he's doing and jumps ahead of him and says, we know what you're going to try to do next, because the pillars of democracy are A, B, C, and D. He's already fucked with A. You know B, C, and D is on the list. Why aren't you out there screaming at the top of your lungs, this is next, this is next, this is next? Why aren't you spending billions of dollars on ads to tell Americans in very like fourth or fifth grade terms what the fuck they could expect? Instead, you're out here speaking college-ese or legalese. These people aren't that fucking smart, bro. No disrespect, but they're just not at that level. Speak to them at a high school level or a little bit lower. Donald Trump is fucking with democracy. Simple as that. He's destroying democracy step by step. This is what you stand to lose. Your freedoms. You see the people on the street? See what's happening to them? Where's the Lincoln Project? I used to see your ads everywhere. I see one every now and again. Where's the other guy? Adam Schlesinger, or whatever the fuck his name is, the Republican. Liz Cheney. Where the fuck are y'all at? Y'all just disappeared. Y'all always asking Democrats to fight for democracy. You're here too. Where are the Republicans who want to fight against this shit that aren't MAGA? Where the fuck are you? Do you like democracy? Or you want it to fall apart too? What do you stand to gain? It's not making sense. And I'm asking all of y'all, make it make sense. If you're trying to help them destroy democracy, then let us know so we can vote your ass out. But right now, I don't see anybody fighting for democracy. I see a bunch of people pussyfooting around Donald Trump and reacting to his batshit crazy, but nobody's showing strength to be beating him. You got one person, the governor of fucking California, that is lighting into his ass with jokes and snide remarks and shit. And counteractions of Texas, gerrymandering, so he's going to do the same thing in California. Okay, mano a mano, battle, whatever you got to do. Stop them. If you're telling me there's no stop gaps, then you need to start putting in laws and amendments to the Constitution that protects it from people like this. Because if you think Donald Trump's the last Republican or MAGA that's going to try this shit, you're batshit crazy. How about y'all tell us you're putting forth laws once you win, the midterms, so that you can get rid of the shit that they're talking about? How is it that I am the one, black guy sitting in his living room and shit, telling you, Democrats, who we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and you guys investing in the stocks and all this shit, becoming millionaires. Some of you guys are already millionaire business people to begin with, or lawyers or whatever. Some with waitresses like AOC, but still, we're paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars, or at least 170 or somewhere around there. And I don't see no fight. You shouldn't be collecting a check just sitting on your ass. I don't see a fight. I see a bunch of times you're going out and speaking in front of the people. Whoop-de-doo. I need to see fighting energy. I need to see every day waking up and you guys are saying something about Donald Trump and his mama for all I give a fuck. Something disrespectful to him. Quit being all, well, maybe. And Chuck Schumer, man, retire, bro. The moment you said I sent a very strong letter, I literally wanted a little kid to walk up on you and kick you in the nuts. Some of the dumbest shit I ever heard coming from a grown-ass man, sounding like you was in the fucking 8th grade. I wrote the teacher a letter about Tommy just being disrespectful. And Tommy, meanwhile, just popping you in your fucking eye while you're talking to the teacher. Trump is just popping the shit out of y'all. And this man brings up a letter. Sit your senile ass down. You know who you need? Who I believe will be a good fighter right now in my head? The dude that you guys let go. I can't remember the top of the head. You let go that pulled the alarm on a fire alarm. That's the energy I'm looking for right now. Somebody who's willing to fight for people. I remember him being in the halls, going at it with a Democrat, with a Republican, calling them out for who they were because he was standing up for kids in school and guns being in school and kids' lives being taken. He was standing up against these Republicans, all up in their face, calling them cowards. That's the shit I'm looking for. Instead of the wimpy letter dude. This is not a time to be wimpy. I want you to hurt Donald Trump's feelings every fucking day that man has left on earth. Every day. Call him something. I don't give a fuck what you call him. I'll get rid of all the norms. Call him fat, fugly, ugly. I don't give a fuck what you say. Orange, wrinkly, diaper wearing, stank ass. I don't care what you say. Do not follow the rules that they have set upon you. Break them. I'm sick and tired of this. It's because it's driving me nuts that we sit here and have to fight for just democracy. That should be a given. We should be fighting for each person's rights, like a personal health care for some people, a bridge in somebody's city, lowering taxes, paying off our debts. That's the shit we should be talking about. But every day we wake up and we got to deal with this dipshit in office saying some of the most egregious shit in the news, hour after hour after hour, saying the same fucking thing. News, let me give you a little quick hint. Okay? What the fuck you need all this news for? It's just for the advertisements. On one complete day, you got 3 fucking stories. The rest are repeats. Hour after hour after hour after hour is a fucking repeat. Ain't shit new. At that point, you need to call that bitch old. Ain't shit new about it. New is at 5, 6, 7 o'clock a.m. You ain't nothing but old shit from 7 on. Then break in and say, breaking news, the news story, then get back to old fucking news. You could save money just by having news on for 1 to 2 hours and then later just come in on commercial breaks of TV shows and say, this is what's new. And then leave your ass alone for the rest of the hour. We don't need to see you after that because you ain't bringing shit but the same fucking news. Ain't shit new about it. Sitting there watching the show today. This just in about a few, this just in recently. No, bitch, that shit came in at 7 a.m. Ain't shit new about it. It's new for your show, but ain't shit new about it. You ain't add nothing to the story. You use the same package that they used at the 7 o'clock show. Ain't shit new. Just run the fucking package and move it on. Quit saying breaking news. It ain't broke. It ain't breaking. It's broke already. My little rant. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of watching repeats with a different face. Figure this shit out. Do something new. The people want to know the news. We don't want to hear old shit all day long. Same shit over and over and over and over again. All right. So the things I think our people, meaning like the people with sense, and hopefully this is you too, Republicans who say they love democracy, right? Liz Cheney, Adam Schlesinger, or whatever the fuck your name is. No disrespect. I know you served in the military, but I don't remember your last name that well. But you need to call a spade a spade. Say what Donald Trump is doing. Present it every time you're on the news. Donald Trump is destroying democracy day by day. This is what you do when you destroy a democracy. You call things fake news. What has Donald Trump did? He's called us fake news since 2015-16 when he didn't want you to believe the news and he wanted you to believe him. That's the same thing Hitler did when he first started on his tirade before he ended up cooking Jewish people. Right? All right. Next. Keep going down the line. Keep it simple, but educate. Don't just give us shit that's just out of nowhere. Put it into context. What Donald Trump is doing is the same thing as Hitler did. Get the video of Hitler. You got it, news. Show exactly what Hitler did and say, look what Donald Trump is doing. It's the same. Lockstep. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And we're repeating it right now. News, tell the world that. You got the access to millions. I don't have millions of people watching me. You got the access to that. But do you do it? No. You give us a bunch of bullshit. And don't even tell us what that is. Well, but this possibly could. Fuck you possibly. You see what he's doing. You're trying to get out of lawsuits. I get it. But tell the whole story. The way the news and the facts show it. And then at the end say allegedly. Get the people to understand what's going on. That's what you need to do, news media. Americans, we need to start PACs that are unified wherever we are, but unified that fight for democracy. $1 here, $5 there, raise money, start putting out ads. We're waiting on billionaires to put up or shut up that love democracy to put out ads so they can get to the rest of the fucking world what the fuck is happening. Instead, you guys are sitting on your thumbs, doing nothing. Hoping that it's not what you think it is, knowing it is exactly what you think it is, but you don't want to be the dude that or woman that rings the alarm bell and seems possibly crazy. I'm like, you know what? Just go look at history and match it up. If history and today are the exact same, basically, you're not crazy. You're just noticing history. And everybody knows, just as well as they know, they're repeating it because they know most of you don't know it. And I got the balls to tell the truth no matter what people may think of me. I ain't trying to run for nobody's office, and I give two shits about Trump or even the fucking administration. I'm not trying to get next to him or get an interview from him. I want the fucking truth. Ain't no millionaire or billionaire in my pockets doing shit. The people I support are the Americans. Fuck these billionaires. Fuck these fucking Democrats and Republicans and independents. If you ain't on the side of democracy, fuck all y'all. The whole lot of you. If you ain't doing nothing for it, fuck you. I say that with my full chest, 10 toes. I'm sick of this shit. Waking up every day and watch democracy just fall the fuck apart. And every once in a while, y'all hint on democracies. This is against democracy. Da, 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 da. And then you move on and start talking about other shit like it's something else to talk about. Democracy's everything. That's the Constitution. First Amendment, all the way down. What you're doing is the First Amendment, being able to speak. That shit's on the line, and you just gonna talk about it like it's a passing story? It's people, man. They ain't taking it serious. They're not taking it serious. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of watching it. I'm sick of nobody doing anything about it. Sick of people trying to say, oh, don't say nothing, don't say this, don't say that. Fuck you. You know what it is. Half these people are probably saying it behind the scenes, but just can't say it in front of the scenes because they don't want to get sued and they don't want to look crazy. We all know everything Donald Trump has been doing and Russell Vought's been doing. Hell, it came out of Russell Vought's mouth that he was creating a deep state. He said this shit, not me. All right. People need to rise up, start having PACs, put your creativity behind it, start putting out ads, And we as the people need to start promoting that shit and making it viral. Because if Americans don't get a chance to see what Donald Trump and his minions are doing about destroying democracy through the news, mainstream media, or through radio or whatever it may be, then it's up to us to save it. Because obviously they must not give a fuck about it. Because you don't see, I haven't seen an ad yet telling the Americans what to do. I got too many Americans asking me, what should we do? What should we do? And not one Democrat has said what the fuck to do. Call your constituents. Call your representative. What the fuck is that going to do? Not that it won't help, but what else is going to do? You ain't doing shit. We done called. And all you're doing is giving us a bunch of platitudes. Oh, you know what? We'll just work on that and we'll have a lawsuit. We'll have a lawsuit for this. And, we're going to have to wait it out. We really don't have any power. Yeah. If you don't believe that you have any power, you don't have any. And you haven't come up with the fact of the American people fighting, if you haven't reached out to people like myself and said, hey, we need you guys to promote the truth. We'll give you the facts. You write it up the way you want to write it. And our billionaires are going to support by putting money in a PAC so that you guys can promote all this shit. They're doing that. Been doing that. And their shit is to push out propaganda. Ours is to push out facts. They got us pushing out facts for free. While Donald Trump and his minions have been putting these people $400,000 a fucking video to pump out lies. And none of them in jail for doing it. Purposely destroying democracy per video. And Democrats too sedity to start giving Democrats money to actually put out fucking truth. Nobody want no money to be putting out no lies. But the money would be the part of promoting it so that everybody gets to see it. These algorithms push us far to the fucking nowhere land unless we put money in it. So the truth just out there in the ecosphere and nobody gets to see it. 5 people get to see it. But then the lies, Donald Trump and their minions are giving these people $10,000, $100,000 to push it out. And it's every fucking other video you see these little dumbass people talking these lies and propaganda. So much so they got a whole station, Fox, pumping out lies second after second after second. It's hard to find the truth on that damn station. And Democrats are just flailing for put facts out. We hope it gets out. Facts should just rise to the top. No. You're going to have to pump those out, bro. You just have to pump them out. You can't just think they're just going to automatically just float. They're not. These people are so caught up in lies that truth is strange to them. And that's because of what? The truth is losing because nobody's putting money or time and effort to push them out. Every app is doing its best. You say something crazy about Trump, barely gets seen. That's why I say these billionaires must be behind this shit. Because not one of them has reached out that I know of to any Democrat to fund them to be able to put the message out there. Not your rehearsed message. Fuck all that. Facts only. Nobody's trying to push your agenda. We're trying to push the facts. And once you get on the side of pushing facts with the people, maybe they'll come to your side because they realize you're down for us and not just the billionaires. But if you can't do that, then the American people, we got to come up with a PAC, whatever it's called, put $5 here and there in it, and put out ads to tell the truth. No lies, no propaganda, only the truth. The truth is strong enough. It's just that most people don't know it. They don't know their history either of this country. And most of these MAGA people don't know. They aren't patriots. They're enemies of the state. They're literally Nazis. And they don't even realize it. Do you really think the Nazis thought they were Nazis until they got the name? Do you really think they thought they were doing bad things at first? It wasn't until they asked them to start unaliving people that it became like, wait. We were just trying to get them out of the country. We weren't trying to cook them. What the fuck? There was a point in time that happened where it switched. It wasn't their first plan that they thought was going to happen. They got these people suckered like our country, like these MAGA people are. Want our country back. Want jobs back. That's the exact same thing they did. Not a little bit. Not somewhat like it. 100% the exact same as Hitler. 100%. No deviation. Why can't the news tell you that part? Because they're so scared that some culture or group is going to be like, well, you can't be bringing that up. Why won't we bring up the fucking truth? We bring up slavery. We bring up what happened to the Japanese internment camps when the shit happened, because this is the exact same as the internment camps, but it was no war prior to it, where they were gathering people up. Know the history, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it sounds strange. It's so crazy how the truth in this country sounds strange and lies are normal. Earth 2 shit. All right. I know I let into some people. I had to get it off my chest, y'all. I had to. This shit has been bugging me. It's on my heart because I'm just pissed off at how every day we have to sit here and deal with Democrats not combating this shit. They just report on it. They get their asses on a news station and just kind of complain, but don't do nothing. Well, we're going to see what we can do. What you mean you're going to see what we're going to do? Why don't you control the news tomorrow and stop letting Donald Trump do it? Why don't you throw a lawsuit on him tomorrow or some shit? So what if you don't win? Have that man in court. Do something. Create something. Don't just sit on your ass and do nothing and just respond to everything this fool does. One thing you got him on his back feet is this Jeffrey Epstein stuff. I don't care if there's a Democrat on it, independent on it, woman, cat, dog. I don't give a fuck who is on it. Fight for that shit. So what if you get one of your own? That's the one thing I like about the Democrats is that when shit goes wrong for a Democrat, they get that person out quick. That's if they're in office. For the most part. I think his name was his name Jamal something? Or I forgot the brother's name who got kicked out for the alarm system. I need him back. Run for something, bro. I don't even live in your state. But run for something. Get back in there and teach them how to fight. All right. Today, better yet, it didn't happen today. But what did happen, let's put it this way, did happen today was Virginia Giuffre, I think that's how you say her name, Giuffre, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Her family spoke out. If you didn't see it, I think it's an NBC interview. You can probably go to NBC.com or something like that. I'm pretty sure it should be on the front page. Before we get to that, yeah, I think his name is Jamal too, Vera. We're going to listen to what Donald Trump had to say on the plane where he's on Air Force One, where he mentions Virginia Giuffre, the sister who unalived herself, that was raped by Jeffrey Epstein and his partners or whatever hell it was in his group. This is what Donald Trump had to say about that when everybody's upset about and up in arms as if she was property. I mentioned that yesterday, but I didn't show you the video, so here we go.
President, you said yesterday your falling out with Jeffrey Epstein was over him taking some of the workers from your business, but your administration in the past said that you threw him out because he was a creep. So can you explain that discrepancy?
Well, maybe they're the same thing, sort of a little bit of the same thing. But no, he took people that worked for me, and I told him don't do it anymore, and he did it. And I said, stay the hell out of here.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were
Small
some of them,
moment, thank
Were
you.
some of them young women?
Right, Dennis?
well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were.
Okay. We got to stop it right down for a second. We're going to finish that off. But first, it was two things in that, what he said. Said that the person, that Jeffrey Epstein, he got rid of him, whatever, because he was a creep. Okay? That came out of Donald Trump's mouth. He had said at least White House said that he got rid of him because he was a creep at his Mar-a-Lago. All right. And then the next thing he says is that they're kind of like trying to conflate the two, that they, basically he was stealing employees and stuff of that nature. He said that he was stealing employees and from the spa. Now, I mentioned to you guys yesterday, which was cool, that I got to see a few people who were reporters out here or anchors that literally caught on, not from what I said, but caught on to what I said. They didn't see me, but they got the same perspective. One is, you've had thousands of employees. How in the flying fuck do you remember a 16-year-old girl, one, which you probably had many of, that used to work in your spa, and that he was a creep, and that he liked little girls or young girls, and he was stealing them from your spa? People that you made seem like you owned these people. Like I said before, I have worked for many of people in my life. They have never owned me. Ever. Nobody can steal me. I make decisions on whether or not I want to leave for a better job that can give me a better life. So how do you blame somebody for stealing your employee? Especially when that employee is just a front desk person. You can find front desk people a mile a minute. I mean, back in the day, come on. All you had to do was put out an ad and you could get somebody coming in, 10 people in a day. So you trying to tell me you worried? I can understand people who are headhunters and they're taking your big dogs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if you guys have worked in career situations as opposed to just, job positions, but in career situations, if you have an accountant or an engineer that, that is top notch and you pay him or her a lot of money, and you're like, yes, this person keeps my business running and comes up with ideas and well worth the money, and it's hard to find somebody that's good, you got headhunters who will be looking for people like that. And if those people come into your offices and start snatching up people, I get you being upset, because those are important to the running of your company, right? They are, quote unquote, the lifeline somewhat to your company being what it is. They're the forward thinkers, the people who take you from here to here every year, right? So you're going to be pissed if somebody comes stealing, and that's when the stealing part comes in. People whom work for you, and they specifically go to your company and take them away from you on purpose, trying to fuck you over. I get that. But you're talking about a 16-year-old girl who did what? Hand people towels? How is that stealing somebody from you? You don't say that. That girl would not be on the boss's fucking radar. I've had businesses. The people who work in the lower positions, I don't even know they were there. Didn't even know they were there because I wasn't a part of hiring them or firing them. No clue. But somehow he knows there were multiple girls, and that many of them, not just one, were taken so much that it pissed him off, were taken by Jeffrey Epstein. The man he knew was creepy, and the man he knew liked girls on the younger side than him. And we know Donald Trump is all into the 18-year-old, barely 18, and through his pageant, 14 to 16-year-olds walking back and watching them naked and talking to Howard Stern about how cool his job is to own something like that because he get to go see them. Out of his mouth, not mine. So for him to say this dude is creepy, so what was Jeffrey Epstein with 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds? Because you were already Donald Trump, 14 to 17, easy. So this is the question I got. You know, these are the questions that I have from that. How is it that this man said that a 16-year-old girl who worked in the front desk of his spa, that there were many girls that were taken from the spa, and get this, it was not Jeffrey Epstein. So if he knows, somebody came to him where he said it and told him that Jeffrey Epstein was taking his girls, here's the problem. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't there. It was Ghislaine Maxwell. So he knows that Ghislaine Maxwell was doing it. In order for him to know, he had to know who the person was. And in order for him to know who it was, he knew that Ghislaine Maxwell was Jeffrey Epstein's girl. See, think about it for a hot second. If you don't know what they're into, then Ghislaine Maxwell is the culprit in which you should have your ire, right? She was the one taking the girls. So how did you attach her to Jeffrey Epstein if you knew a little bit about their relationship? Why would you be mad at Jeffrey Epstein? Wouldn't you have kicked Ghislaine Maxwell out? Because she's the one that was there. You see how this shit ain't adding up? He keeps putting himself deeper and deeper into this hole, thinking that he's getting himself out. No, sir, you've opened up a can of more questions. These quote unquote snakes, they biting the hell out of you right now. You keep on talking. Because none of this shit makes sense. And the idea of saying you own somebody and that he was stealing them from you. You can't steal something that you never owned or possessed. That girl, unless she was to you, Donald Trump, like an engineer, was there something that you was running? Let's say your spa was the same type of spa as Jeffrey Epstein's, and therefore he was stealing the girl that you was trying to groom. Therefore, that's why you knew. This shit makes more sense than a 16-year-old girl getting a job during the summer, and you somehow know who the fuck she is when you didn't do the hiring. The spa did. So how did you know about her? You went to the spa every day? See how shit don't add up with this man? I'm telling you, he's creepy. He keeps digging a deeper hole. Let's keep talking. Let's keep listening to him talk.
Yeah.
What did they do?
In the spa.
What kind of jobs?
In the spa.
Yeah, it's people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one
How does he know? Who is calling Donald Trump and saying that Ghislaine Maxwell, and they know, hey, your boy Jeffrey Epstein has Ghislaine Maxwell taking our girls. Democrats, what is it? Where is they at? They were in Florida. Florida law enforcement. Y'all might want to do some research on this spa. This spa may have been another spa, like when you have the spas where, happy ending spa. This may have been a happy ending spa. Because I'm trying to figure out why a 16-year-old girl who just works at the desk is fucking important to a luxury spa. No disrespect to a 16-year-old girl, but we all know you go to a spa. My ex was a massage therapist. There's a lot of fucking work that goes into that. Hundreds of hours, if not 1,000 or so hours of having to do the work. After going through classes, you have to really train hours on different people, sometimes for free, sometimes for a small fee, like $25 to give them an hour massage, whatever it may be. But you got to put in hours to do that before you even get your own license to do so. You can't be massaging just anybody. And they led her down that path that she could. that they could train her up? That's not how it worked. So Donald Trump's got this 16-year-old girl. We got to find out how many more 16-year-old girls was at that spa around that time, and how many of them also had the same problem, because they said he took more than one girl. All of them had to be young, because this man didn't deal with too many grown-ups. I don't think he had that much of a, like, I know he had a preference for young, but I think he would have done with anybody. So those are the questions I got. Go and check out this spa. Women, if you see this and you were one of the girls working at that spa, speak up. You can't catch these people unless you guys speak. And I understand it's scary, but these people did some dirt. And too many people out there are hiding their dirt out of fear, out of peace for themselves, out of just letting it go. I get it. But it makes no sense that you remember a 16-year-old girl, multiple 16 or young girls working in your spa, and somebody had to call you and tell you that somebody's coming and taking your people. Now, here's the question also. They make it seem like they took the girls on the day of. The way Ghislaine said it, she said that she approached her while reading a magazine, right? She's reading this massage magazine, a booklet or whatever it was, and she told her about being a massage therapist. She can teach her and train her. All right, cool. And then after that, she said she ended up showing up at his house or something like that the night after or whatever it may be, when she was invited. Ghislaine started doing her thing with her, playing with her, and telling her exactly how to give this man, you know what. This is a part of the job after they told her to undress herself. This is how you do massages. Yeah, you have to get down to your underwear. And then proceeded to teach her how to give a happy ending. Not a massage. A happy ending was the first thing. Probably the only thing. So I'm trying to figure out, after she got finished being molested and all that shit, she just didn't want to go back to Mar-a-Lago anymore. She quit Mar-a-Lago and left. I mean, come on, be more specific, Donald Trump. They just out. Did they quit? Or did he take them? I'm kind of confused by this whole process that you seem to know more about. Because how would you know? All they would probably do is come in and say, I quit. How would you know that they left and went to his spot? Unless you went to his house and saw him, like, wait a minute, what's she doing here? She worked for me. We seen y'all with a bunch of girls, little girls, man. We kind of understand why grown men hang out with little girls. I don't get. They ain't your children. Yeah. It's getting creepier by the second. And it's not just Jeffrey Epstein and, Ghislaine Maxwell. Donald Trump's a creep. 100%. I'll say it with my full chest. The shit you exhibit is creepy. 100%.
Those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa.
How do you know that?
I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know.
See how he kind of remembered? He goes, I don't know. Oh, I think she worked at the spa. He literally visualized it, because you could see how he recognized. He looked at it, he goes, I don't know. Oh, I think she worked at the spa. He recognized in his brain, I remember her. Who remembers a 16-year-old girl that worked at your spa many, many fucking years ago? Not unless she was creepy and was looking at this 16-year-old girl. How would you know? And if they stole her from the spa, like you said, and she wasn't working there anymore, that would mean somebody came to you, told you she wasn't working there anymore. How do you know what she looks like? She ain't working there no more. She ain't came back to work. They addressed you after she was gone. So how did you remember the girl that was gone that you did not hire? Creepy. Very creepy. All right. The next thing, and let me get you guys' conversations up here. These things don't make any sense. I keep on trying over and over again to kind of like add this shit up, and it doesn't add up. Not at all. You get, I think it was ABC, the station that he sued. They gave him like, the first station he sued, they gave him like 16 million or so many million. George Stephanopoulos. This is that station asking him a question recently about this. He attacks the reporter, as always, when they ask him a question that he thinks is not a softball question, which he thinks he deserves, and therefore he goes off on the reporter and her station. Make sure I don't have two up. Let's get it. Good night, Chuck. Take care. How did you know the reporter asked? Asked for, how did I know what? If that's what you're talking about. Good night, Chuck. I don't know what it is that, what he did, but I don't know what you're talking about, Chuck. But anyway, I'll let it go. Let's move on to, let's see if I can get it set up.
Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I didn't know. I mean, I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it, and we threw him out. We said we don't want him, at the place.
Okay, so what's wrong with her asking, do you know why he took these girls? It wasn't a you're guilty question or gotcha question. He could have easily said he wanted them to work for him, be a massage therapist or front desk or whatever, but I don't know exactly why he took them. But more than likely what everybody takes somebody for. He wanted to pay them more to do the same job, and it's hard to get good people to work for you. But he knows it's creepier than that. I mean, anybody who has an employee that some other company or some headhunters are out there trying to take your employees, you're like, because they're trying to take our best. And I can't have that. If my business is running, I got to spend $40,000 to find an employee that I'm going to pay $10,000 a year for. I mean, that's a lot of money when you're thinking about it for the money. But obviously he's thinking about it for some other angle, because he gets upset if you ask him, why do you think he's took her? You're a terrible person for asking me a legitimate question that I don't want to answer. That's pretty much it. Exactly, Dennis. She was qualified. It's simple questions. You don't have to get upset with somebody asking you a simple fucking question. But the reason why you're upset about it is because that simple question is easily incriminating you if you say what you really want to say. So it's like pissed off that, why you ask that? He wants softball questions. Now, we're going to see Virginia Giuffre say what she has to say in an interview in 2020. I believe it's with ABC, I believe, or CBS, I think. It'll make sense here in a sec.
What would justice look like for you when it comes to Ghislaine Maxwell?
I would like to see Ghislaine stay in jail forever. I'd like her to apologize for what she's done to me and so many others.
When Jeffrey Epstein took his own life, many of the victims/survivors felt that they had been robbed, that they did not get their day in court.
It would have been great to look at him in court and say, you hurt me, You took away my innocence, you took away my youth, but he took that away from us too. I'm really hoping we get to do this with Ghislaine.
Does the buck stop with Ghislaine Maxwell, in your opinion?
No, the buck stops when every single monster gets held accountable and our children are safe. Not just my monsters, but all the monsters. And we need everyone's help.
That right there. I love how she calls them monsters. Better term, more real. These monsters, you know, took her innocence. Had they not done what they did to her, she'd be still alive today. She dealt with her demons until she took her own life. And these people have no remorse for what they did. You know, Ghislaine Maxwell, she never apologized for what she did. And even now with her asking for, you know, Queen of the Day immunity, it's only so she can tell you what she did without ever being charged for it. She didn't apologize for it. She wasn't remorseful. She lied on the stand and everything else. In the court, she lied multiple times. Couldn't get the truth out this woman. And Donald Trump sends his lawyer, who's the deputy, what is he? The deputy, I forgot what he is right now, Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, sends him, one of his henchmen, to go speak to her. And it first came out that he had nobody with him to record this. Second, it said somebody maybe from the FBI was there to record some things. Don't know 100%. So it's still up in the air. They're trying to get those documents of what they talked about. Nothing. We haven't heard anything from Pam Bondi. That trick just disappeared. She ain't even been on television or nothing. This trick was on every Fox. Every time Fox came on every day, she was on that bitch somewhere. And she ain't nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, she gone. Where is she? Haven't seen Dan Bongino. Haven't seen Kash Patel. They were all over Fox. Now they're in hiding. Ain't been on any station that I've seen or heard about. Haven't seen it come on my path. Nothing whatsoever. I've looked for stuff on Fox. I can't stand the station, but I'll go on there and look. I haven't seen any interviews or any questions or anything like that of them mentioning their names. But before this, Jeffrey Epstein started to blow up, and they were telling everybody there's nothing to see here, folks. Then they got caught. Missing video and all that. Disappeared. You don't see him nowhere. You don't see him anywhere. You got Senator Tom Tillis, a Republican. He had some words he had to say about the situation because people are wondering, like, you know, what are you guys going to do, Republicans? Do you think this shit's going to go away? Because now that you're in recess until, I think, September, is it going to go away or is it going to get worse, or what's going to happen? And this is what he had to say about it.
Do you think the recess will be enough time for all of this Epstein-related conversation to cool down, or does more need to be done?
You tell me, are you going to become disinterested after Labor Day?
Are your voters disinterested? I mean, are they
Not at
calling you
all.
still?
And it's going to continue, guys. The best thing we can do is release the information we have and admit we don't have the information if we don't. So how do you solve it?
And that's it. Of course. They're always kind of combative, but he's telling the truth. He's like, will you stop being interested? Of course not. This is the problem I have with Republicans, especially even him, with him kind of capitulating the fact that they're not going to forget. But he put the onus on her. Would you? On the reporter. Reporters asking the question that legitimately the rest of us want to know, which you did a good job. But excuse me, Tom Tillis, and I know you don't try to come over to the other side now that you're going to retire or some shit like that. You're starting to come towards Senseville. But you've been in batshit crazy land for a while. So you might want to throw in there, of course not, because MAGA's not going to give it up. MAGA spent years wanting these documents. MAGA said that Democrats were hiding it because they're the ones that eat babies in their blood and pizza in the basement, which didn't have a basement, and space lasers that Jewish people own that do certain things, and QAnon. Yeah, that was y'all Republicans. That was your batshit crazyville, and those people, conspiracy land, batshit world. They're the ones that's not going to let it go because they're the ones who were riding and dying with the fact that they were going to get them. They were going Democrat hunting. Just like that Bugs Bunny character was, I'm going hunting, rabbit hunting. They were going Democrat hunting with that shit. They knew Bill Clinton was on that shit. They knew every Democrat was on there and they were going to arrest him and put him in jail. And then it's like Donald Trump's on the list. What about that list? Fuck that list. We don't need that list. What? That was some of them. Other ones, we need a list. So he wanted to put the onus on the reporter, when in reality, the onus goes on the MAGA. They're the ones who thought it was all Democrats. Elmer Fudd, thank you, Rudy and Planet Janet. They're the ones who wanted this so bad. Now, us people who aren't MAGA, we wanted the information of who the hell fuck with these kids. We wanted them put in bars, behind bars. I don't give a fuck who it is. They need to be behind bars, under the jail if you could. Death sentence if it's a possibility. Don't give a damn. Republican, Democrat, Independent, Christian, agnostic. I don't give Jewish. I don't care who it is. Black, didn't care. Let's find them. Get them in jail. Get them off the street. Give these girls some sense of peace. Give them a win, because they've been taking these L's for a long time. Validate them for what they went through instead of all that, and then own up to the fact that we ignored it as American citizens. Now, me and you may not have known about it, but again, we are lumped in with the American citizens because when we did hear about it, we went about our day and hoped that the government would do its part. But they didn't feel the pressure from us to do our part. Now they're starting to feel the pressure and they're hiding shit. But now we got a split between the Republican Party. Half of that, I ain't gonna say half, but a percentage of them just want to have this shit go away. The other one, they're out for Republicans. And no matter how much I dislike most of them, I'm on the side of the ones who want the information. That's something we can agree on. And that's something we can start moving in lockstep with some of these MAGA people. Hold people accountable. No matter what party they are, no matter how rich they are, poor, broke, whatever. Race, color, creed, straight, gay, bi, whatever. Whatever you've done, we're a country of laws, rules, and regulations, and we need to abide by that to keep our democracy. And we need to make that system better because too many people who are innocent are behind bars. But we still need to go through the due process aspect and make the system better. But we're starting to even lose the due process aspect. How can we make the laws and the situations better when the entire system's in tatters, starting to go backwards? We're trying, but not hard enough, Dems. You got to do something about it. Now, I promise you that the family, it's a longer video. I didn't get all of it. I didn't prepare all of it, but this is the Giuffre family and what they had to say. And it's a tearjerker, so if you can't handle it, I understand. Disappearing for a hot second if you haven't watched the video yet. But I think this is about a minute and a half, somewhere around there, of them being asked a question. And this was actually breaking news. It's that came from them at that time. It's not breaking now, just in case you didn't see it. All right, let's get it.
when you said the president invoked your sister's name, he said specifically that word when he described her as being stolen, having been, quote unquote, stolen. What went through your mind when you heard that?
I think we were shocked by it. Especially to use the term stolen. Because she's not an object. She's a person. She's a mom. She's a sister. And she was recruited by Maxwell. She wasn't stolen, she was recruited at Mar-a-Lago, his property, place where she was looking forward to having fun that summer. And it just kind of makes us wonder, I mean, how much he knew. You know, especially, and it's in our statement a couple of years later, you know, he made a statement on Epstein and, you know, how he liked young girls. And so, yeah, it does make us question how much did he know?
Exactly. And sorry to the family, Virginia Giuffre's family. Prayers lifted up for y'all. You're not going to be the only one fighting. We're going to all be fighting for your sister. That's what I'm doing right now in my own way, is to get out there and say, for your sister and for all the women, or who are women now, but girls who had to bear the brunt of this pain while their monsters run free to live another day doing the same thing to another child. Because you don't think, you'd be naive as fuck to believe that these predators just stopped doing it. They still out there doing it. It is their disease. It is their mental defect. And all they're doing is hiding. And until their names and faces are put out, they're going to continue doing it under the protection either of our government or our laws. Far too often, you're starting to hear these people working for the FBI, who used to work for the FBI, doing interviews and things of that nature, talking about, oh, you got to protect the victims. I have yet to hear any of these people explain, but what if the victim says, I don't care, you're not protecting me by hiding it. Let them see what they did to me. What do you say then? What if all these people said, that's been so long ago, you ain't going to hurt me. I've already been dealing with it. Put it out. Show exactly what these men did to my 13, 14, 12, 15-year-old body. Let them see what I've been going through. What you going to say then? How can you protect a body that says, I don't need you to protect me? You didn't defend me. You weren't there for me. Fuck your law about not showing it. Cover up the sexual parts and put that shit out there with our heads and everything open so you can see these monsters. What if they said that? I think they want these people exposed more so than they care about what you're going to show. Because, again, those videos, those pictures with parts blanked out, validate them in their pain. It gets rid of the mystery so that you will know their true history. What happened? Again, this country trying to hide their history, and I guarantee you, mostly white men. Because best believe, if this was filled with black men doing it, at least half of them would be behind bars right the fuck now. They have no problem tearing down a rich black man or black woman. This right here is you watching white privilege. It is rich white men that they're providing for, that they're hiding for. And one of them is Donald Trump. Because had it been any other race of person, you best believe that video would have been out. And white men would have tried to play the protector. Look what we did. We got these Latin people and black people and dark-skinned people off the street. These vile pedophiles. But because it's rich white men, you ain't seen one of them. And here's the crazy part. You got a white woman behind bars. All these white men roaming free, continually doing it. That doesn't tell you white privilege in this country is thick and strong. I don't know what will. That won't tell you that the majority of pedophiles in this country are white men with power. I don't know what will it tell you. It doesn't tell you that most of the crime that is continued in this country, that is allowed to continue to happen, is allowed because rich white men are in control of it. You ain't paying attention. Because if drugs in this country, if pedophilia in this country, if all the derelictions, the issues in this country were headed up by a race of color, it would be gone. People would be in jail, and you have this white savior saying, look what we did. We got these black people, these Latin people, these Asian people, these other people who are harming our people off the street. But because it's not gone, it's not because it's people of color doing it. It's because it's white privileged men and women with power that they're letting it go. Just want you to know that these types of crimes are because white people, rich white people, powerful white people, aren't held to the same laws, responsibilities that people of color and poor white people are held to. If they were, then your children would be more protected. These snatching kids off the street and putting them into slave labor or sexual labor, whatever it may be, you got to understand that wouldn't exist in this country if rich white people didn't let it happen. Where do you think the money going to? Black people? Latin people? Hell no. If it were, this country would be free of it because they'd be arresting every last one of us they see. Look what they're doing to Latin people after they lied and said that they were the ones committing all these crimes. They out here snatching them up off the street. Ain't even criminals, but just because they got the validation from Americans, some, that you don't want these criminals in your country. Well, 80% of pedophiles are white men. Can we get them out of the country now? Oh, you double standards, what you telling me. You don't want to go just grabbing white men up and just throw them in jail just because they look like a pedophile. They fit the description of a pedophile. White, male, money, power. You don't want to go snatch them up and throw them in jail and then figure it out without due process? Now do you see the privilege in this country? That it's a racist country? You're snatching up Latin people just because there's a lie that they commit more of the crimes. And we know for a fact that 80% of the pedophiles in this country are white men, and you're not grabbing them? You're not going out and just snatching up white men for no reason? Without due process? I'm not saying these things should be happening. I'm saying it's happening for Latin people. Why isn't it happening for these white people who are, the stats show 80% of these types of people who do this are white men? But we never went out and just hunted white men and put them behind bars who may have or may not have been considered a pedophile. And you'll never see that. Because it's what? A racist country. It's a racist country. There's no way in hell that would ever happen on this planet, in this country. And it shouldn't be happening to Latin people or black people or anybody else. You should go through due process for all of it. But if you're watching what they're doing to Latin people and you're not up in arms, you're part of the problem and not the solution. We're all, that I know of, people around me, we're all pissed off about it. But we feel helpless. There are some people out there actually fighting these people. But we don't know what to do. You know what's so crazy is that all of these years, and I'm gonna leave you with this thought. I was gonna go on tariffs. I'll handle tariffs tomorrow. But what's crazy is that all these years we've had people who love the Second Amendment, who believe the Second Amendment. A quick history lesson here. They believe that Second Amendment was all about getting arms against the government, just in case the government wants to attack you. You have your Second Amendment right where you can defend yourself from the government. That's what they told themselves. And based upon what they told themselves, right now, Americans should be taking up arms against ICE, correct? They come into people's homes. This should be full-on war against ICE, right? That's what Second Amendment people said to themselves, but they thought that Democrats were going to come for their guns and for their something in their life, and they were going to end up just shooting up a bunch of Democrats. And that's what they've been told this entire time by Republicans. That's what they believed. But the Second Amendment wasn't about fighting against the government. That was a lie they told people to get them out there to buy weapons and shit and worry about the government taking your guns away. The Second Amendment almost always goes back to black people. People don't understand how embedded this country is in being a racist. The Second Amendment was a reaction to there being a revolt in a black country where black people beat out the white people who came to take them over. They had a rebellion and they won. Well, see, a lot of these slave owners grabbed up some slaves, threw them on a boat, and came toward America to escape that. And when they came to America, their slaves mingled with American slaves, and they were worried that the slaves who came over was going to be an influence to start another revolt in America. So then they started focusing on whether they can actually take up arms to kill the slaves if they decided to take over. That's how the Second Amendment became a big thing. It wasn't about going up against the government. It was going up against a revolt from slaves. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up. It's a lot that this country did not teach its people. Statue of Liberty has nothing to do with immigrants and yearning free. Well, it does have the yearning free part. It was about the end of slavery. I didn't make this up. Go look it up. They lied about it forever. And the people who took over the actual meaning of it were two Jewish people. The woman who actually wrote the message, Give me your tired, yearning free, that placard, that was a Jewish lady who was commissioned by the Pulitzer Prize. I think his name's John Pulitzer or something Pulitzer. He is the one who had a newspaper. And in his newspaper, he put in that you can, back then, it was like you were a star if you had your name in the newspaper. So for, I think it was $1 or something, some change, he asked them to get their name in the newspaper. They give him some money. He raised $3,000. He was raising 100, I think 100,000 is what he wanted. I think it went 3,000 over. And 100,000 was in addition to the 50,000 or so, 150,000 that rich people had given him to build the base of the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty was $250,000 for the base, $250,000 for the statue. France paid the $250,000, which they raised money as well. The state and government, federal government, did not pay for it. The people paid for it in France, and it was the French's idea to give us this gift because America had finally become what they considered to be a democracy when France was losing its democracy with, I believe, Napoleon or some of that nature. And they were happy that America had finally decided to become a true democracy and let the slaves free. And when they did so, the Frenchman was like, I think they deserve this. Offered it to America. America said, fuck that, I ain't paying for that. But we don't mind. You come looking for and survey and look at some land if you want. But you got to pay for it. And that's how it all began. America raised 150,000 through rich people, 100,000 through everyday people putting their name in the paper, right? France went through some kind of fundraising process as well, brought it over here, put it on top of the foundation of Statue of Liberty. The rich white people said that they didn't want this statue to be about black people. They didn't want to have to look at this and think about the things they did to black people. They wanted to look at this in a whole different other light. So the 1776 tablet was not a thing. They wanted to make it about them and the freedom of America or whatever from the Europeans or whatever the hell, right? But in reality, that in that person's hands, her arms were supposed to be shackled together, but broken shackles. So you can see that slavery is over. She wasn't supposed to be a Roman goddess. She was supposed to be a woman of color. Not black, though. But still, of quote-unquote African, I guess. It was Egyptian is what she was supposed to be. The crown in which she wears was not supposed to be a crown. It was supposed to be more of a hat that looked like I forgot the name of what they called it, but I always remember it because I remember who the person wears one just like it. It'll look funny, but that's the way it's supposed to be. She was supposed to be wearing a hat, not a crown, a hat that was the exact same hat as Papa Smurf used to wear. That's a hat from another country. We look at it as a comedy or whatever, funny, but that hat is really like either an Egyptian or some other country type of hat that she was supposed to be wearing. Woman of color wearing that type of hat with shackles on her arms, turned into some Roman goddess woman, had nothing to do with anything, but she was white in their minds, with a tablet that mentioned 1776, so they could celebrate something other than what it was supposed to be for. And the designer, God bless his soul, decided to say F you to these racist bastards and kept something on it so that it would actually forever represent black people, regardless of what these white people wanted it to represent. So you literally have to fly over the Statue of Liberty and look down. And they don't let you do it often. I think they used to have a ride or something like that, but not any longer, or at least not for a few years ago. I knew about it. But if you fly around the Statue of Liberty, you look down at her feet, she still has the shackles on her feet, broken shackles, to represent the freedom of slaves from this country, what the Statue of Liberty really represents. If you don't think it's a racist country, why are they still teaching that the Statue of Liberty is about immigration when it's really about the freedom of black people and finally having a democracy. See what I mean? This country is full of it. Telling the truth is not its thing. Lying, smoke and mirrors is its thing. And most of us are tired of the lies. We just want the truth. What is so bad about looking at a statue that says slavery is over? America's finally the country it says it lives up to be. We're all free. And even in that beautiful gesture from the French, this racist ass country had to hide it and turn it into something it wasn't, because it can't face its own past and it can't bark or hark on a new future. It's sad and it sucks. But for most of us who know, we know. Oh, the bonnet rouge? Yeah, okay. The Papa Smurf hat? Yeah, it was supposed to be a hat like that. You can go look it up. Here's the thing. There was a lady, I don't know why I can't remember her name on top of my head now, black lady who was a professor, who I learned all of this stuff from. Well, she sparked my curiosity about it because she was talking about it. She's the reason why at the Statue of Liberty now, they teach the truth. At least they did at the time in which she was talking about this. And it used to be the truth. It was inside of the Statue of Liberty, but it was hidden behind stuff that you didn't see. And she kept going to the Statue of Liberty and asking on the tour, what about the end of slavery type of thing? And the guy was kind of taken aback and he said, yeah, that's kind of true. It's over there type of thing. Yeah. I can't remember her name at the top of my head, but just if you want to type that in, you'll find out who she is. She's a doctor, I do believe. If it pops in my head, I'll let you know. But yeah. Is it Dr. Joy something? Dr. Joy something, I believe. Just popped in and popped out. Happens when you get my age. Shit pop in and pop out. It visits, but it never stays. Anyway, DeGruy, Joy DeGruy, Joyce DeGruy, DeGruy. Dr. Joy DeGruy, I think. Yeah, check her out. Her book, really informative. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that because I know I can go into the tariffs. They just released some tariffs today. That's supposed to happen by tomorrow, which is August 1st. One country got an extension, but that all is a ruse. Not the fact that it won't happen, but the reason why they put on tariffs and the strategy, like I said before, what they're doing and why they're doing it. Our Democrats, our leaders, our economic advisors and experts, they know what Donald Trump is doing. There's nothing new in the playbook of democracy or even autocracies or nothing. There's nothing new under the sun. What Donald Trump is doing is in lockstep with turning a democracy into an autocracy. And you don't see these people ringing the alarm bell. They throw hints out there, but they don't go full throated with it. It's like, no, it is. And these are the reasons why. But there's not enough time for them to cover a story. Then make a special or something about it. But damn, keep talking about it. Do what Donald Trump does. Mention it every fucking show. Every reporter mention it, or anchor mention it in every freaking show. Repetition. So that it gets through the skulls of Americans that they need to do something. They need to act. You can't beat liars, people who hate democracy, by just sitting around and doing nothing. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow and go into depth about why they're doing these tariffs. Why is it happening? And why Democrats, independents, billionaires on our side aren't doing anything about it. There's reasons behind this stuff. And trust me, you're going to be pissed off when you start to find out more and more about how these strategies are benefiting some of these billionaires. So that's why you don't hear them speaking or putting money behind people like me and others who need to get out there and get the word out there. so that people can do the homework and check us instead of just being blind and having no clue what Trump and his minions are trying to do and what billionaires are being quiet on. All right. I appreciate y'all as always. You know what I mean? We have to be out here fighting for each other. Like I said, there's some things that we can do. I'm going to try and write some notes and put it maybe in the comment section of things that everybody can do. Pick something, start working on it. Even if it's just putting a message out, pick something, start promoting it, start telling people about it. Add to it if you want. But the point of the matter is we have to unite around issues that we want. And that is right now, democracy. And letting people know what part of democracy is starting to fall. And we can't just let it happen. Republicans and MAGA, they're letting it go. Like I said, Liz Cheney sees what's happening. The Adam guy, I forgot his last name, he sees what's happening. What are they doing about it? Quiet as church mice. Just saying. All right. Thank you, Vera. I appreciate y'all. He said I was off with my rant today. Yeah. We need to be out there telling the truth, making it happen. And, you know, you guys know how you can always support the show when you can. We're doing more. We're also going to start doing, we're going to start doing more positive stuff. My picture will show back up in a second. We're going to start doing more positive stuff on my other show, which I'm going to be launching probably in the next month or two. Trying to get it all together. Trying to put it in a position where we can start making changes and moving toward a better place. But we have to fight. And in the midst of this fight, we also got to be working on a different level. Not just one side. It's all hands on deck. This is going to stay here fighting for our rights, motivating us. And the other avid solutionist is going to be about creating solutions and working toward those, and everybody being effective, like being a part of it, throwing what's in your heart and your mind out there, and people listening and giving this country a shock that it needs. Brilliant Americans wanting democracy and providing solutions. Enough of waiting on Democrats and independents to provide solutions for us. Americans know what they want. It's time that we send them to do what we want, not for them to make up whatever the fuck they want to make up. Not for them to listen to billionaires. We have to become our own agency, Americans. We have to fight for democracy and put intact, like, this is what we don't want to be fucked with, and we want things made to the point where you don't make amendments outside of democracy. That's a no-no. You can add on to democracy, but you don't make amendments to tear it down or to allow it to be torn down. We got to shore up democracy so no more dipshits like these can ever take this type of power and do the things they're trying to do. Point blank, period. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, love y'all. I see some of y'all tomorrow around the same time, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. We'll get it in and focus on brilliant stuff and holding these people accountable for the crap they're doing. Finding solutions. I want to thank all my members for being here. Dennis, Alice, Rooted in the Planet, Janice, Swift Returns. Appreciate y'all. Who else we had in here? Dennis, I said that already. It's a lot in here going back and forth. Vera, I see you. Always loyal. Always here. The first person here all the time. Always count on that. Bamboozled, thank you for being here. Azure, I see you. Who is that? Oh, somebody said Adam Mockler. I got to check out Adam Mockler. Chuck, he had to leave, but thanks for being here. If you ever come back and see this video, thank you for being here. Make sure I got everybody that I can. If I missed you, let me know. And I'll go back down to the bottom. Kenneth, I see you. Thanks for being here. I'm going to keep looking up. I already said Azure. Yep, that's pretty much it. All right. You guys have a good night as always. I'll see you when I see you.